Assalamu alaikum. Insulin-like growth factor 1 is important. We will understand the introduction and the explanation and how it can work. So let's understand about that. If you are a new, please make sure to subscribe, like and share and watch the whole video for understanding the insulin-like growth factor 1. What is this? So basically first of all we will understand the insulin. So insulin is the anabolic hormone which that trigger the lipogenesis. It means the lipids production in the adipose tissue, lipid formation. In this way the insulin will trigger the obesity. It means the fat gain. Remember. And on the other hand, the insulin also buffer the growth hormone. Remember. So in this way, the insulin should not spike more. It means you should not eat the sugar containing food. So in this way, less sugar will lead to drop the insulin level, and in this way the growth hormone ultimately increase. Growth hormone released from the pituitary gland and target to the every type of tissue. But when target to the muscle, bones and the liver will release the insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF1, and it will bind autocrinally with the liver for the glycogenesis in the absence of the insulin. And on the other hand, also the bones and muscle produce the insulin-like growth factor 1 for the synthesis of the actin and myosin. Due to the breakdown of the muscle repair due to the insulin-like growth factor 1. Also the insulin-like growth factor 1 trigger the myogenesis. In this way the myosatellite cell proliferation and differentiation to become a myofiber. And that is why it is important for the cell differentiation and cell maturation as well as the cell proliferation. But the insulin not work for this. Insulin just anabolic for the glycogenesis in the liver and muscle, also the fat gaining process. Because the adipose tissue requires the insulin for deposition of the glucose, and in this way the glucose will convert into the triacylglycerol. That is known as the lipogenesis. Lipo means lipids or fat, genesis means the formation. Anyhow, in this way, basically, whenever you will drop the insulin via a ketogenic diet, fasting, or exercise, in this way the insulin will drop, will lead to increase the growth hormone. When growth hormone increase, will target to the liver, muscle, and bone, and in this way the insulin level drops. So the insulin-like growth factor 1 is the alternate, but the insulin-like growth factor 1 is very important for the maturation, the development. So remember, insulin-like growth factor 1 is released throughout the life, but the insulin-like growth factor 2 is important for the development stages during the fetus time. In this way, the embryology, which that is due to the insulin-like growth factor 2. In this way, the insulin-like growth factor 2 released from the brain and the heart. On the other hand, the bones, muscle, and other part of your body. But the insulin-like growth factor 1 is important for muscle, bones, and liver, which that produce this. And insulin-like growth factor 1 also target to the adipose tissue for fat loss. In this way, your lipids breakdown is known as the lipolysis. Lipo means fat and lysis means breakdown. In this way, the insulin-like growth factor 1 will decrease the fat while grow your muscle. And on the other hand, the bone density will increase. The insulin-like growth factor 1 prevents the osteoporosis, rhabdomyolysis, myopenia, or basically is known as the sarcopenia. In this way, the decrease of the muscle breakdown prevention through insulin-like growth factor 1. Osteoporosis and arthritis also inhibit due to the insulin-like growth factor 1. And also, insulin-like growth factor 1 will create the stamina in your muscle, strength, density, and the strength of your bone. In this way, the insulin-like growth factor 1 is important for your maintenance and healthy life. So insulin-like growth factor 1 when dropped with the passage of time, like aging, in this way your muscle will be loose, your bones density will decrease, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and rheumatoid arthritis can be possible. Also the glycogenesis process will decrease. In this way, the insulin-like growth factor 1 is very important for the formation and the anabolism of your body. I hope it makes sense about that. In this way, the insulin-like growth factor 1, some people inject exogenously. So in this way, the harmful effect of the insulin-like growth factor 1 is whenever you will quit that exogenous injection, so your internal body will not produce insulin-like growth factor 1. In this way, you will decrease the insulin-like growth factor 1. By this mechanism, the insulin-like growth factor 1 when decreased will lead to complication of your body. So remember, the important thing we are understanding in this video, the myogenesis, the muscle formation, and the breakdown of your fat, and the breakdown of your fat is due to the insulin-like growth factor 1. But the increase of the muscle density, muscle strength, and the growth of your bone, even increase your height. In this way, basically, whenever the early life growth triggered due to the insulin-like growth factor 1. The insulin-like growth factor 1 play important role, and in this way we can increase the insulin-like growth factor 1 through a stress-free environment, ketogenic diet, low carbohydrate containing diet, and the high fat, even the low amount of the protein. That is known as the ketogenic diet. Number 2 is the fasting. Fasting triggers the growth hormone. When growth hormone trigger, in this way the growth hormone will basically lead to increase the insulin-like growth factor 1. And the third one is the exercise. Whenever the breakdown of the muscle will lead to increase the growth hormone, and the insulin-like growth factor 1 also increase. And the other thing is basically whenever you will sleep, so increase your sleep duration will lead to improve also the insulin-like growth factor 1. So remember that things. In this video we have discussed about the introduction of the insulin-like growth factor 1. A lot of video basically in my channel. You can learn a lot of knowledge from the other video about the insulin-like growth factor 1. Basically a lot of things we are discussing in this time, so about the insulin-like growth factor 1. So basically the insulin-like growth factor 1 is too much important for the exercise, for grow your muscle and grow your bones, increase strength and stamina. I hope it makes sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video for this time. Allah Hafiz.